One time, my own daughter, who was a teenager, was sitting across the table from me, and she said, "Mom, I'm stressed out. I want to be happy, but I don't know how." So at that time, if there was anything that I could have given her, read this, watch this, it will help you, I would have. But I couldn't find that thing that she would resonate, as a teenager, would resonate with. So I started speaking with the experts, and what I discovered shocked me. The degree of stress and depression that is going on not only in our community, which, by the way, had 7 suicides in a local high school. And this is an affluent community with very bright people. You'd never think this happened. But it's also worldwide. The World Health Organization predicts that by 2020, depression will be the second most debilitating disease after heart disease. And that is for every age. And male, female, it doesn't matter. And socioeconomic factors, it doesn't matter. So this is a worldwide issue, and it's something that we have to pay attention with for, I should say, for ourselves and for the next generation. So it's really important, and that's the bad news. But the good news is that although everyone has to deal with struggles, we can alter how we deal with them through our perspectives and our attitudes, and that has a direct correlation to our happiness. So today I'd like to take you through a bunch of happiness practices that we are using in schools, in high schools, in universities. We have it for teachers and for parents. And the encouraging thing that I want to say to you is that happiness can absolutely be taught. So let's go through a couple of them right now. Whoops. Okay, there was a very interesting study that talked about the factors influencing happiness levels. Only 50% is genetic, it's what you're born with. 10% is your circumstance, you know, whether you're in a relationship, the socioeconomic factors and so on. But a full 40% is all about intentional activities. And for me, that includes the thoughts that you think and the actions that you do in your life. And we'll talk a little bit about the neuroscience also, because happiness is a practice, and we can actually change the neural pathways in our mind through certain practices. One of them is really simple. Everybody knows how to do it. You were born doing it. It's breathing. And there's a name for it. It's called mindfulness. And that is when we intentionally focus our attention without judgment. So I'm going to explain to you 2 exercises, and you can take them and use them in your life. One has to do with colors. So I'd love you to imagine 2 colors. One is for the color of joy, for happiness, serenity, peace. Everybody have a color? Okay. The second color is for the challenges in life, the things that make you upset, angry, sad, toxicity. Have a color? Okay. So would everyone sit, please, in your chair, quite straight, and I invite you to close your eyes and breathe in the color of happiness. Experience it filling your body, your cells. Imagine it's rising up to the top of your head. And hold it for a second. And now breathe out the color of stress. Breathe it out, down your back, down your legs into the earth. Let's do that again. Breathe in the color of joy. Fill yourself up with joy and hold it. Now breathe out all your stress. Let it go. One more time. Breathe in peace and happiness. Hold it. Now breathe out stress. Breathe it out. Let it go. How did that feel? Did anybody feel a little more relaxed? Good. That's something that you can use while you're in traffic, before a presentation. But I'm going to share one more, and this is something that my father, who's in his 90s, asked me the other day. He says, Randy, I want to meditate. How do I learn? So I said, Dad, I'm going to give you a shortcut. This works. So you breathe in the word let, and you breathe out the word go. So imagine let, go, let, go, let, go. So that's the speedy way to do it. It could be useful. Another thing that we talk about in schools are measuring your strengths. What are your top strengths? And I'm not talking about the things like, oh, I'm good at playing the piano, I've practiced for 10 years. No, I want you to think about the strengths that you were born with. Like some of the characteristics, whether you're a kind person, or you're intelligent, or you're funny, or you're athletic. What are your 3 top strengths? And could you choose a partner who's sitting next to you and take a moment and tell each other your 3 top strengths? Ding, 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 ding. I hate to cut you short. Ding, 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 ding. Sorry, I usually carry these beautiful bells, but I forgot them. So, how many of you know your strengths, or is it something that you have to think about? Most of us, there's something called a negativity bias, and we think about what we're not good at instead of building on our strengths. So it's very fortunate if you can use your strengths in your workplace. Can you raise your hand if you are able to use your strengths at your workplace? Good, great. I knew this was a special group anyways, but it's a great advantage. And here is another little clue to in a way of being a detective for your strengths. So if you can think of the strengths, no, not the strengths, the moments where you felt most alive. This is at every age, under 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and so on. Or just the happiest moments, the most alive moments in your life. And we don't have time to do this today, but this is a homework for you. And when you consider those, I want you to look at the thread that goes through all of them. Is it when you're connecting with people? When you're connecting with nature? Is it when you're doing creative pursuits? There's so many things, but you can be a detective in your own life and figure out that. And I invite you to do that. Oops. But sometimes things get in the way. The mind has a way of playing tricks and holding us hostage. Sometimes we engage in repeated patterns of thinking that don't serve us well. That's when we feel like our thoughts have hijacked our common sense and left us feeling totally out of control. Anyone ever feel that way? So some of the things that cause it are mind reading, when you think that what someone else is thinking is based on your ideas, your own ideas, not theirs. Control myth, when you think control and power over your life is external and not inside of yourself. We all have these to some degree or another. Catastrophizing, when you make, oh, it's such a big deal, oh my goodness, the world's going to end if something doesn't work out just right. Or blaming, you hold other people accountable, responsible for your pain, or you take the other tack and blame yourself for some problems. So, and then my personal favorite is the critic's voice. You think you're never good enough, smart enough, capable enough. How many people have one of these that visits them quite often? I think that is the human condition. And the challenge and the opportunity is to recognize them and say, hi, you're here again? Maybe you should go play outside. I'm going to do something else, take another action or do another thought to replace that. And that's where neuroplasticity comes in. This is Dr. Richard Davidson, who's done amazing work in neuroplasticity, and that's the science that says that the brain can change. This is very encouraging because we used to think that that was not possible, but now we know that the average adult, not even just kids, but adults, grow 5,000 new brain cells every day. And what that means is if we adopt certain practices, which we'll talk about, you can change not only your thoughts, but you can change the neural pathways and therefore reset your brain. So if someone's default, like on a computer, if the default is unhappiness or worry or all that, we can actually change that. And science has proven it through distinct practices. This is from a psychologist at Stanford. Her name is Carol Dweck, and she has a great book called Mindset. She talks about fixed and growth mindset. A fixed mindset says my potential is determined at birth. If I do something wrong, I'm a failure. I'm a failure. And therefore, you might avoid challenges and go, why bother? It's not going to change anything. And therefore, people do not reach their full potential. Whereas the growth mindset says, not that I'm a failure, but I failed. This particular thing did not work out. What is there to learn from this? And you keep on going, and it's okay to have disappointments. You pick yourself up and you learn. There's always something to learn. And it requires effort, but that's okay. And then the result is you achieve even higher levels of success. So I need 2 volunteers from the audience. We're going to do something fun. Okay, you are going to be representing the growth mindset. Okay, someone that thinks you can learn from something. And you will represent the fixed mindset. Okay, what's your name?
Vanya.
Vanya?
Takuhi.
Takuhi, thank you. Okay, so here's your circumstance. I had a big presentation to do, and it didn't work out well at all. I'm kind of disappointed, but what would you say as the fixed mindset?
Yes, I think that аз мисля, че ще...
Maybe I could get a... Okay.
Ще пропадна, Ще се проваля. Аз толкова съм тъпа и съм руса и съм ужасна.
Oh gosh. Good job. How about you?
Ами това е един опит. Мисля, че следващия ще е по-добър. Всъщност аз мисля, че мога да бъда много добра презентаторка. Имам дарба да бъда такава.
Let's give them a big hand. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, two more. So here's your circumstance. It is he or she looked at me funny. She looked at me or he looked at me in a weird way. I don't know what to think.
Which mindset am I?
Okay. What do you want to be?
The fixed then.
The fixed. Okay,
It's
would
a
you be
bit-
growth? Okay. Okay.
Okay, so she looked at me. I'm a failure.
Because
And things are never going to change and I can do better.
and your turn.
It's okay. All my summer clothes were dirty and I look weird today. So tomorrow he would look at me different.
Right. And maybe that's their problem. Something's going on in their mind. Well, thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. Now, let's talk about practicing happiness. These are ways to draw upon everyday life practices that anybody can do. And different categories of them are active practices like dancing, exercise, yoga. What are some more active practices that you might do?
Аз, например, отскоро прилагам тест. Техника за емоционална свобода. И се чувствам добре. И съм тук благодарение на тях. Спечелих от Фейсбук билет. Просто съм много щастлива. Да.
I appreciate that very much. I don't know what you said, but I appreciate it. Thank you. You had one?
I do exercises every
Exercise.
day. Yes,
Wonderful.
I feel fine.
Good. That increases the endorphins. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, I actually go to work with a bike every day.
Good. Good. It's fantastic. Transportation plus endorphins, so that's great. What about creative practices? Drawing, writing, music? Does anybody have creative practices that they do? Yes.
I love writing.
Great. Do you keep a journal?
No, I've written 2 books.
Ah, even better. Thank you. Wonderful. Bravo.
Аз пея народни песни.
Thank you. I don't know what it is, but I appreciate that. Okay, now what about quiet practices? Meditation, gardening, having time in nature. Anybody into that? Yes.
I do kind of my own meditation. I walk to school every day and I do all my thinking while I'm walking, and it really works a lot.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you're setting yourself up for a positive day. Intentionally, that's what we're talking about. Anyone else? I sense a comment there. Anything else? No.
We were wondering where sex was there, but I think it's creative, quiet, wellness, and relationship.
Yeah, it's active, it's everywhere, everywhere. Wellness practices, sleep. Do all of you get enough sleep? Yes?
I actually do get enough sleep.
Good, good. That's a challenge.
И една практика от йога, молна, да запазваш тишина, осъзнато да запазваш тишина ден, 2, 3, без да разговаряш с никого. Това е от тихите практики.
Thank you, thank you. And finally, relationship practices. That's where sex can come in. And volunteering is such a wonderful thing because the kindness that you give returns to you many times over. How many of you are involved in any volunteering efforts? Okay, that is truly one of the shortcuts to happiness, as is gratitude. And we're going to talk about gratitude afterwards, because that is really, really, really a fast track to happiness. Whoops. Okay. Does anybody here does anyone know what is a gratitude journal? Okay, great. Let me tell you a little more about it, because it's very powerful. You keep a little notebook beside your bed, and at the end of the day, you write down just 3 things that you are grateful for. It could be something very silly, like, I had a really good muffin. Or, you know, something easy, like, I smiled at someone, or someone smiled at me. Or a lovely conversation. Or, you know, the sun is shining today instead of raining. It doesn't have to be big. But the idea here is that what we focus on grows. So if we put our attention, very much like your telescope, very powerful example, what we put our attention on grows, it increases, it becomes more important in our life, and we notice it more. So therefore, we are more attuned to be grateful for the things in our life and to happiness. So I want to issue a challenge to all of you here. How many of you, oh, by the way, science has proven that you can be up to 25% happier if you do this practice over 28 days straight. This is a challenge. How many of you are willing to take it? Come on, guys. It's worth it. Okay, good. If you come away with one thing from this, I would like you to give that a try. It absolutely will change your lives. So this is from Angeles Aaron, who is a world-famous anthropologist. And she talks, this is across all cultures. It makes sense, and it's really a way of deepening gratitude. What inspired me today? Thinking about that. What challenged me today? And also, what did I learn from that challenge? That's the important part. What surprised me today? Hopefully in a good way. And what touched my heart? So I'd like you to go with the partner that you were speaking with and take, how much time do we have, Simeon? 10 minutes, okay. Why don't you take 2 of those questions, pick the 2 that you like, and each of you answer them and then change with the other person, okay? Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Stop connecting. This is a very important study that I want to share with you. It really proves that happiness is contagious. Do you know, have you ever walked into a room where someone is miserable and you feel all the life just suck out of the room? But have you ever been around someone who is happy or who is laughing, and all of a sudden you can't stop laughing or being happy? That's the contagious quality of it. And this study proves, let's say you're a happy guy, you're driving home, you know, in your car, you're listening to your favorite music, and you really feel happy. Well, you say hello to your wife or your neighbor, and all of a sudden, they don't know why, but they feel up to 25% happier. they go and call their sister, and there's something in their voice that transmits to, and that sister is up to 10% happier. And the sister speaks to her son, and her tone of voice, her attitude, causes him to be up to 5.6% happier. And this was a study done in Harvard University and UC San Diego. And what it tells us is, number one, happiness is not a selfish pursuit. Indeed, it is something very, very powerful. It's one of the most generous things that we can do to cause other people to be happy. And our happiness, whether it starts with a child in school, a parent, a community member, it transfers to other people around. So let's say people learn it in school, it goes into their family, it goes into their community, it goes into their state, their country, and the world. So this is powerful. This is an agent of social change. And I just got back from Rio, where the Plus Rio conference was. And I had the honor of sitting with and interviewing the Prime Minister of Bhutan. Now, he is the one who has pushing the movement for gross national happiness. And what that means is GNP, gross national product, is no longer enough. As people around the world, I feel that we are no longer willing to settle for that just measuring our country by the economics. We want to be involved in a society that cares about well-being and life satisfaction and happiness as an additional measure also, and that's gross national happiness. And there are many versions of it floating around. The OECD is doing one. There's many that are percolating around. But the thing is that we and you are part of a happiness movement. This is, it's awesome to be here. You are really the seeds of it, and you have the capacity to go out and spread that to people around you. I mean, you are shining a light for other people, and it's really wonderful. And I want you to remember that you hold that capacity inside of you. It's nothing external. It's not the iPad or a new pair of jeans or whatever that's going to give you happiness. It's in you. So the opportunity now is to spread it. And finally, I want to invite all of you to come up to the front for something really fun, an experiential exercise that I like to close with. So hurry up and come on the front and get into 2 lines. Okay. You can face this direction. Everyone face this direction. Okay? Everyone face this pillar if you would. We need another line starting here. You can start. Okay. Everybody come on in, come on in. And maybe we need a 4th. One more line over here. Okay. And we can let this line run into the middle. That's fine. Okay. So I want you to all face that direction, please. And now put your hands on the other person's shoulder and give them a little shoulder massage. Because that is a part of happiness too. So do the shoulders, you can do the neck, you can go down the spine a little. Come on, everyone's had a tough day. They've been sitting in chairs. Give them some love. Okay, now turn around and return the favor. You can clap on top of their head and trickle it down. You are now officially agents of happiness. So go out and spread your light. Thank you.